Hallelujah. The highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. In the morning when I wake up, in the night when I wake up, I will lift up my voice to heaven and give you the highest praise. Hallelujah to my King. Hallelujah to my Father. Hallelujah to my Jesus. I bow before the throne. When I look at all the wonder and I see all the creation, the beauty of the universe, you never, never change. You never, never lie. You never, never change. You never, never change. Hallelujah to my Jesus. Hallelujah. 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 Hey, hey. Hallelujah. Hey. Give. Hallelujah. Hey. God is praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hey, hey. Come the friend, Jehovah. Come the worship, Jehovah. It is of the prison. Come the prison. It is of everything. Oh, the worshiping. Here come, let's pray with the Almighty. Let's worship Him. This is the Liberian gospel artist Joseph Baz, teaming up with K Praise right here, voice echoing and fading right here on the diaspora. Informative news outlet Liberia Public Radio. Welcome to the show. It is the praise. Hallelujah. Giving the higher praise. Hallelujah. One night giving the higher praise because he's the author and finisher of our faith. That is ongoing in the political war and around the globe. So let's give him the higher praise. Welcome to the show. Share the podcast for us. Let's keep the conversation saver. It's all about Liberia. You have the right to agree and disagree with us. Well, let's have a general conversations. Let's get the ball rolling. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah to my Jesus. Hey, hallelujah. Okay, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Today is the conversation with the liberal progressive Samson Branto. I'm going to be here to fill in this guy yet to learn this process. But when he comes, then he act like he's the king of the jungle. But we will do everything possible we can. Very shortly, you're going to be joining us. Just give me a thumbs up if you are getting me loud and clear. Sometimes these things, they are electronics, and sometimes they just put you off the radar. But we are here to serve you. We are here to serve our country. It's all about our country. And to make sure that we do the right thing, let's keep the conversation saver. Respect your friends' opinion. You can disagree with them. But let's create a roundtable conference that will be able to understand what is happening in today's politics. It's getting a little bit ugly. Is there a game changer here taking place? We here, we know what is news and what is not news. If it is a news, we have to talk it and look at it
from all angles with our opinions and views expressed, which of course you also have the right to do that. The Liberal Progressive going to be joining us here from Saxton, Sacramento, California, and of course our contributor is based in Atlanta, Georgia. You know, Atlanta was a controversial place here too in the last election, right? You know, remember former President Donald Trump placed a phone call to the sitting Secretary of State with the hope to to circumvent the results of the election. So the guy from the far right, Amos George, is based in Atlanta, Georgia. In a bid to keep our conversation more proportionate and professional, we also take you East Africa, where Liberians are also there standing by to make their impact. Our senior contributor there in East Africa, monitoring what is happening in Liberia and in his country now, so should I say a second country, Nairobi, Kenya. But the Liberal has been very mean to this guy to the extent that he has adopted a stereotyping on this guy, calling him Mr. Nairobi. Can you imagine this guy from Totan? Very divisive. Okay, nobody telling all what I'm saying because he's not monitoring, he's not hearing, so nobody run that phrase to him. Welcome to the show. I'm Afonso Z, and so right here at the New England Bureau Desk of the Liberia Public Radio, and to you, our valuable viewers and listeners in radio land, television land, wherever you are, we say thank you for sharing your evening. Your time is so valued and important. Let's get the ball rolling. Okay, the house is getting crowded. I'm quite sure we're going to have a different views and opinion. And you, the audience, don't hold back. It can be me, the liberal, or Mr. I don't want to call his name. I mean, we are from Kenya, Nairobi, in East Africa there, and Pa George. It was something strange today. It worth sharing as a news. We're going to dive into that a little bit. Is the bitterness, resentment, is it going away? Who is the new Rav Emmanuel within the proximity of the President of the Republic of Liberia? How this phone call came about today, that political commentator Heron Costa told his viewers and followers. It was quite fascinating. We're going to have a conversation. Who is getting nervous right now with this sort of talking point that was so conciliatory and friendly? We yet to know the end, but I can tell you to ultimately, at the end of the day, at some point in time, we will get to know. We're going to talk that 10 years contract being awarded. People are going to be managing our airport. How was this process concluded? And see here, I'm wondering whether this group called CPP or opposition is still alive. Name callings is another type of propaganda. Who's the real fingerer? You see Alice Comey on the other side, Councillor Serena Seaforth, who is the Solicitor General, always in the controversy. And then the trouble child, as I always call him, Benana Yuri. I don't know why his mask is not on his face. But let me bring in our man from East Africa, to Michael Weir, is our political analyst. Perhaps he get a sense why the guy not putting a mask on. They said nose mask, they didn't say chin mask, but he put it there. There's a reason. Okay, Mike, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening and welcome. And I'd like to welcome everybody, all of our listeners in Liberia and all parts of the world. I'd like to welcome them to this edition as well. I'm also grateful for life.
Okay. Okay, so the man from the far right and the liberal progressive going to be here. And like I said, LPR is very careful in terms of what we put out, what we project out there, but we know we can distinguish what is news and what is not news. Today is a big possible news on video because we have been seeing some bitterness. One claiming they're not going to have a conversation unless, but all of a sudden, nothing just happened like that. It's a gradual process. Conversation always, if you talk to political pundits and people who knows and who can dissect concrete information, there are certain things before it comes to play. There can be a background stage, background conversations, and there can be assurance from both sides. Yes, we can deal with it not being blown out of proportion with ABC, but those arrangements can be made. The ordinary people out there, they have no idea how it's work. It's not a sudden, it's not a just overnight event. But let's put this. Indeed, is a news. Mr. Costa today to reveal to any of his that he had a conversation with the president. Let's listen to the little sound by here and see. I'm not sure what's going on.
To discuss what we discuss and owe it to my people, you. I owe you transparency to tell you that I haven't talked to President Weah, or I hadn't spoken with President Weah in a long time, and I spoke with him today. And so I owe you, my supporters, that level of transparency to tell you that I spoke with the president. My nephew, Musa Keita, thanks for keeping the time. I will begin to talk when we hit 2,000 views. We're at 1,000.
Okay. Well, that's part of it. I haven't spoken with the president for a long time. It's relative. We don't know how long it has been. There was no time given. He decided to get the consultations of the president in order to get this out. And in order to, it's a smart move on his part, because if he doesn't do that, eventually it's going to come to light, and his supporters will see it as a betrayal, even though some might be jittering and be whining and screaming why this happened. But people don't understand how politics work. It's a give and take. It's another form of battle system. So let's have a conversation right now. Who is getting nervous? Where is this nervousness coming from? This guy's been very bitter to the president, no questions about that. Been very vocal. How this came into place, and who should be concerned right now? Henry Costa having a conversation with the president, going back and making retrospecting their 2011 conference in Kakata, all of that. What is going on? Check your mic. Okay. Just check it. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, much better.
Okay. So, you know, I was at home when I saw the live Facebook broadcast from Heron Costa, explaining his side of the story, whatever that happened during the conversation with the president of Liberia. Most importantly, he said some things, especially so he wants to go to Liberia, but with
hold on 1 second. This conversation is about to derail. This conversation is about to take a different train. This conversation is about to be more or less complicated. This conversation is about to leave both the New England Bureau, leave Atlanta, Georgia. It's not going to land in Nairobi. Maybe I don't know, but I can tell you it's about to get a little bit dicey. Let me bring in the liberal progressive, Samson Baku Brown told here. This guy, since he came, he just all in his African safari. He's in the photo, but he doesn't want to tell his follower. Let me bring in the man from the far right, from Atlanta, Georgia, senior political analyst, Amos Joyce. Not bad in that. We're getting some information as to how this was initiated and why. Let me bring in Pa Joyce here and get it balanced. While Samson Toll is preparing his dossier, I don't know what he's going to do. Who is going to be representing? Okay, let's get rolling, Michael.
Yeah, so like I was saying, he stressed an important point that he wants to come to Liberia. He wants to go to Liberia rather, but due to the manner in which he left, I think there is a fear, thinking that when he gets to Liberia, he could be arrested. So the president assured him, according to what he said, that the government of Liberia has no problem with him. He's free to come to his country. Liberia is his country. Nobody is after him. So just look at the smart game. As a young man, Costa also said that the president should invite him. They should invite him to the July 26 celebration, an invitation. In that case, whenever he goes to Liberia on an invitation, that the state security will not arrest him. And also, he also said that the Justice Ministry should also come up with a statement concerning that. He made a lot of revelation, but according to him, like you said, it was a smart game because assuming that his followers have found out that he spoke with the president and he did not come out to tell them, they would have seen it like a sign of betrayal. Because before then, the presidency, information emanating from the presidency were more like more sacred than any other thing. But nowadays, with the person of Galasco and the other guys around the presidency, every little thing it must come to the public. Facebook has to carry everything live.
Let me
So I think some of those fears were there. That's why he rushed. I mean, immediately to also come on Facebook to inform his audience and other people who also follow him.
great political gaming. The liberal now is grinding with him.
One little bit low. Tip that one up.
Am I low or what? Why do you want to start trouble so quick, Amos George? Are you there? You hearing me now, loud and clear?
The volume.
Okay, I'm not sure. Liberal, are you hearing me? Hello?
Very good, very good, very good.
Okay. All right. Amos George want to start trouble in his elite talking point here. Okay, so let me go to the liberal progressive. I am wondering, I am not flabbergasted by this because we know politics, people who don't know who be screaming all around, this can't happen, that can't happen. What I'm wondering where are those folks in the beltway of President George Weah, who lately has become the Ralph Emmanuel. I don't know whether McGill is involved. The call came, the Costa gives a full disclosure the identity of the call. All right, the president of the Republic of Liberia. Another person was put on hold. Of course, I want to talk to the president. When the president calling me, if it appears on my caller ID, I assume there has been some sort of work. It can be an overnight event. It has been much long conversation behind the scene. The liberal is the opposition wing. Is there some sort of nervousness right now as we speak, especially your man Boyka? Is he nervous this evening?
Thank you, Mr. So. Mr. George, nice seeing you again. I was really missing all of you. Mr. Nairobi, Mr.
Hold on there. You went to Monrovia, you didn't call me.
Yeah.
I was texting you. You didn't respond. And now you come to make it.
Yeah, but
so,
let me okay. Like I said, I miss you guys. And in fact, when I spent 2 nights in Banga. And every time that I have conversation, it was Amos George. That Amos George place here.
But nobody knows Banga. You spend 2 nights in Banga. What that got to do with me? I'm not from Banga.
Wait. Don't rush me. It look like you're anxious tonight, but I'm not going to fall into your trap. I'm not going to fall into any of your trap here tonight. So I'm going to be as gentle as possible. So I'm good to have ourselves back here again, and hopefully the good professor will take time someday to join us. So good evening to all of you. Look, Mr. So, I've been thinking about this phone call here all day as far as I'm concerned. This, let me just say this here before I go on to what I want to say. Dr. Weah, he has gotten comfortable in this position as being president of the Republic of Liberia. In that, he is so comfortable now that he's not much bothered about who say what and what is being said about him. That much I can say. Now, this thing is not something that was just cooked out. Now, there is some issue with our brother, my own little son, Costa, recently, based on Facebook posting and what have you. I'm not too sure. Mr. So, why is the president picture up and my picture is not up? Are you getting ready to start again tonight?
What? You
Because,
call the
Trust
point.
me, I am the one that the liberal is
Listen,
on the floor. And
yeah,
let me
listen. On this network, you know that we are very illustrative when we're doing something. With certain thing is injected into the conversation. You give that clarity to the audience.
okay.
We
I'm
know
not
you
gonna
want
fight.
to
I'm not ready to
so
fight now. I will deal with you and the center right later on. Right now, I'm trying to enjoy myself. But as I was saying, on a very serious note, Mr. So, quite recently there have been some wrangling about Costa and his privacy and everything else. You think, and before I go on to say this here, Dr. Weir is a man who was elected not based on leadership ability, but he was elected based on popularity. And Dr. Weir knows very well that this coming election, he needs to stop all the whistle to come his way. So with Custer having this so-called whatever you want to call it, it's like come to Papa. I'm here waiting for you. So who called? I most likely I would suggest the first call, and Costa did not call the person in. Most likely it was from McGee. Knowing fully well that Costa gonna need some sort of a support. And they're all friends. They were friends before politics and everything else. And Costa explained that. So you heard McGee, and immediately after he told Costa, well, if you think the president deleted your number, I'll find out. Immediately after that conversation, the president called to confirm to Costa that I didn't delete your I didn't delete your
that
number.
there's no wish hunt.
No. Here's what I think is happening. The election is going to be happening here very shortly. And Costa is in a good position. But in order for Costa to recognize how important this time is to him, because even though Costa is a public figure, a lot of things said and done about him, and and it really doesn't matter to him. Sometimes it doesn't even bother him. But these kinds of things, he's a human being like any other person. So with this, his prophecy being discussed on the social media, whether true or not, it's also he's a human being. I believe most likely affecting him. Now here comes the president of the Republic of Liberia,
The
calling
narrative
him
is
at this. Mr. So the liberal is talking, please. Let the liberal finish, if you don't mind. And the cost for him thinking, well, maybe this young man is at the lowest point with this kinds of thing that is happening. Let me inject my presidency and my prestige onto this. Not only that, after he made a call, he also gave Costa permission to announce to the people what happened when that announcement made. The whole trajectory of Costa privacy being discussed have now switched.
let me hold you.
We have now pivot to the conversation. Dr. Weir is a brilliant politician, if I may say so. Dr. Weir is a brilliant politician, if I may say so. Now, I
Well,
don't
I
agree with
think
you
it
in
seems that you're trying to get a phone call now to can you
Mr.
hold on, please?
So, will you allow the liberal to speak whatever? I'm being very truthful. In order for Dr. Weir, he's not ready yet. So what he has done is to put some political capital into Costa Bank. I love the way Costa gonna have to redeem that. Dr. Weir will come back later for that redeemer of the political capital that he has put in Costa Bank.
Okay, let's start roller skating here. Let me go to Atlanta, to Georgia. Amos George is steadily looking at you. Mr. George, are you going to have your own talking point? Let's do a guess game here. We yet to know the details as to how this was initiated, why led to it. I'm quite sure in the past, one of the sides, especially Costa, have been very vehement of not talking to the president. Now, less than 17 months or maybe 18 months, we are talking about election. A group calling itself CPP, as far as I'm concerned, it's on life support. So it's like I am fighting for these people. I've been talking to these people. I've been talking for these people. I'm one of the loudest, and people listen to me. I get follower, but they are not listening to me. So I need to take a deep breath. I need to step back and see what is happening. And it's like CDC, like what the liberal said, playing her game around the election. Whether you are a journalist or a talk show host, you do not want to see yourself being in loggerheads with the media. That's going to change the conversation. Out of the sudden today, President of the Republic of Liberia appears on the caller ID of Mr. Heron Costa. We are hearing conversation being taken place to get an assurance. And interestingly, he got a consent of the president. Why?
Yes, I mean,
Why is that? Why the executive mansion say we have, this? Of course, it's a news. We have to talk about it. That's worth talking. We want to know how is it. Let's hear from you. Who is getting nervous right now within the opposition bloc? Joseph Boyka?
Boaga should be wondering, because this is a man that put life into his campaign, according to him. But the Costa thing to me is not a surprise, because there have been rumors in the air that I think $35,000 was supposed to be given to him by the CTC-led government, not to criticize the government, just remain quiet, he can talk, but not to go after them. And they will, in return, they will drop the charges so he can return home. This rumor was in the air, in the air for some time. So today, Mr. Costa saying that, hey, the president called me and we had a lengthy discussion and we were very fruitful and he was very calm. Those are what he described the president. He even went further to say that, hey, Mr. President, at one point he said the president told him that you can attack me, anything you want to say, but just leave my family, that's my wife and children. And then he said, oh, you saw what happened. The book that Asif wrote, I brought a chapter up, and like defending your wife, you can see.
Va was thrown under the bus.
To the point that I was defending woman who. But to that point, then I stopped. I said, hey, is this Costa? Costa, yesterday you were calling a woman prostitute. And now you tell the president that you're not condoning any kind of action, and you want to go after Asif Chokpa? What you want to please the president? When you curse a woman, a girl that your friend pregnant and refuse to take the belly, to abort the belly, you call her prostitute. And now you want to tell the president that you are against so kind of thing, that Asif Chokpa did the worst thing ever in his life? Come on, Costa. This Kenya is like the chicken coming back home. This is it. Follow the money. Come on. What he said. All the things he said. That today that Henry Costa know that George Weah is very nice. When he has said all those things about him. You didn't know George Weah said you said you had met in Kakatan before when he was then senator. You didn't know that this guy was calm when you had said all those things. But this is politics. The 2023 is around the corner. Mr. Costa wants to make some money. So probably he reaching out to George Weah again. Deep brother, I'm here.
All right.
I'll be on the back. Don't worry. Yeah. I will say this.
Like,
but the people who now put all the egg, this is the hero. When the hero was negotiating all this talk, he didn't inform them. He never told them. He kept them outside. The first meeting he talked about, he didn't name the source. He said best friend. That is to tell you, this thing has been in the work. And he kept his people out of it. Today, what he did, it was just one of those smart things that the child commit a crime when you see a man coming or papa coming run their voice. He said, Papa, I did something here today. So this is one of the things. So he just came out today. Oh, I had a conversation with the president. This is what we discussed. But why? What was the previous conversation you had with this good person that connected to the president? What was that conversation? Did you inform your people? No.
Okay, let me go to Nairobi here, and we're going to come to the Liberal. Believe me, our folks are going to open the phone lines as well to get your intake, but always we maintain civility on this network here. That's our ultimate goal, and that what makes our Liberia Public Radio. So let me go to Kenya. in Nairobi there, where Mr. Michael Weir is standing by. Michael, let me bring you in here. Are we beginning to see some political chippings, bargainings going on? Look, our moving this route, it seems to be going down the slope. This train is already derailed. Joseph Boyka, uh, I don't know what is going within the walls of the Unity Party right now because the guy, he never had a thought that he was going to have a conversation with the president. Now, the president and his folks, his inner cycle, perhaps is playing a political softball. Election is around. Nobody want a hostile situation because their message will be distracted. So, phone call came about. We don't know. We yet to know the detail as to how this phone call was initiated. Costa also said, "Well, I forgot. I didn't mention about my radio." Look, politicians, they are very smart people. So even if it was said, probably arrangement agreement, I'm not going to say this, I'm going to move that because in as much there was a concern, it means I'm going to put it out there. And I guess if not, even the president, folks closer to the president, they were monitoring as well to know how to see whether that's uh, Morovia, Capitol Hill. I don't know whether the president was on the eighth floor or he was at a rehab resort, whatever he was doing. And Wilmington, Delaware conversation was taking place to make sure whatever they had, the discussion that they had is to the point. So, Mr. Michael,
Yes.
are we
So,
going to see? Are we going to see more than what we are seeing right now? This seems to be on the surface. We need to know more about this conversation and how long it been going on. It's not an overnight thing.
yes, I do not know about the the politics in the US, whether there are a lot of cross carpeting whenever the electionary periods are approaching. I do not know. But as for Africa, like even where I am in Nairobi, Kenya, there are a lot of cross carpeting that go on whenever there is a pending election. So it is not only unique to Liberia, it wouldn't be unique to Liberia as well. You should expect that. Henry Costa is in the US. He has to pay his bills. I don't know whether he has a job that he's being employed. He has to survive. And Waka, who he defends on a daily basis, Waka now does not have the finances, that much finances to upkeep him. So Henry Costa needs to survive. How be it? I am not saying he's doing that for money, for monetary gains. But the fact remains as it is. This call today, 20 minutes call today, did not come just by accident. It was a pre-discussion. It was a pre-discussion. There are things, there are plans on the way. And those plans that are on the way, whenever the results come, I know a lot of Liberians, a lot of people who've been following the politics in Liberia might likely be shocked because probably they wouldn't be thinking that Costa will, I mean, make such a decision, that any other opponent will make such a decision. Because in 2017, Costa has abused Ambassador Bwaka a lot. If everybody, I think every one of us, we follow the election in 2017. That this man is a sleeping giant. This man, his thinking has been derailed. All those kind of description, he said those things against Bwakai. So we are seeing him with Bwakai. So don't be surprised tomorrow when you see him, because this man said that he said the discussion with the president was magnanimous. You understand? Those are the description he gave. So it wasn't only about today's discussion. It wasn't only about today's discussion. It's about promises probably that were made. The result of the promises might likely have positive impact on his life as an individual. So it's clear. And mind you, Liberia and Liberians, a lot of Liberians have that gullible mindset. We've quit to forget and we've quit to believe. Very simple. So whatever you see Costa is doing, tomorrow, anywhere you see Costa turns his face, you see most of his followers will go there. Even you will find few that will say, oh, we are disappointed in you. But majority will still go after Costa. The government herself knows how strong Costa is. So they need Costa, but they wouldn't come publicly and say, we need you. But they will have to play the game, behind the curtain.
There was a political bag in Helen Johnson Sirleaf with that of Costa. Helen Johnson Sirleaf is still in the bag here. Who knows? Still in the columns of the president. Say, hey, you got to stabilize this thing here. You don't want a lot of noise. You don't want to be distracted because they have been successful. The opposition inability, and I said this from time to time, liberal, you can stretch your eyes until it can't do me no harm. I told him especially the Nyombi Kanga, the Boyka, the Benana Yure, all of these people. Let me see. I think we have them here. Yeah, them here. Yeah,
Yeah. So
the trouble guy here, the guy with the hand in his pocket, and the old man with the TNSP and brown shoe suit there, and Samson told sister Nyombi Kanga Lauren, Alexander Cummings. This picture also shows that this guy, he's not one of us. So they put him on the far end of the world that you are a newcomer, you do not belong. You don't have space in the political stage yet. But let's get back to this whole thing. We're going to be changing the conversation. We're also going to let our people play.
but yeah, but Mr. So,
Mhm.
now you you will understand also the total dismantling of the CPP began from Costa. He was the one that started the attack on the ANC guy before everybody followed. So you should understand how strong this guy is. Whatever accusation that he was giving 35,000, 40,000 to do whatever he's doing, we don't know whether it is true.
Where this resentment with Alexander Cummings comes from. I remember when Cummings was also chair of the CPP, COP that happens to be a pressure, whatever so-called or whatever pressure group, wanted a political accommodation, wanted a slot, a committee, which Cummings or the ANC folks, so he said no, which of course he was right because under that bayonet of the CPP, it only requires political parties to be part of that, not a pressure group. And this is
Yes.
what I see the compromise came from the COP, and their folks didn't allow it. But it seems to be Costa is coming back to his senses. He could have been the deal breaker, but he came quickly, ran into Omen Boyka for whatever reason, fall in love with Omen Boyka. So that is them. You talk side. So other people say, wait a minute, this guy is already get aside. And all of the big folks they began to also take side. That itself devalued the ability of COP in order to persuade the bloc within the COP because all of these groups put together. Here we are today. The liberal progressive. Let me bring you on.
Mr. So, first thing first. This show is the called Conversation with Samson Toe. And I'm allowing you to carry out the show tonight. And so I must be giving a latitude, more time on this here to go on, Mr. So. So let me just say this on a very serious note. Look, Mr. So, it's very simple. I don't believe money issue. Costa is being persuaded by money and what have you. Those that thing romance, and I have no way to authenticate any of those stuff. So I'm not going to take stock into it. However, Mr. So, this is what I want to say. Costa and this phone call today was very interesting. Number one, the first thing here is this. Costa is a very smart young man. We all agree. A week or so ago, even less than the last week, he took Jefferson Kochi to the cleanup. When Jefferson Kochi made that remark, Costa went and did a clip of each of the pronouncement that Jefferson Kochi was making. Some of them are so ridiculous. But he made those things and made them public. Before that, Costa has not been someone who would speak kindly of the president, so to speak. However, let me say this again for many of you that are listening. The last 2 days, for us, those of us that support Costa and believe in some of the things that he's doing, were down because of this privacy conversation that was happening around him. And he's a human being like any other person. He has feelings, he has emotions. So I'm sure why he might put up some sort of a steak face out there. As a human being, I'm sure these things come to him as well because his families are watching. And nobody wants to see their family member privacy being discussed in public, such as social media. However, let me say this again. Dr. We are his people recognize and perhaps felt like, well, Costa most likely is in a vulnerable position at this moment. Let's reach out to him. And so somebody initiated a call, according to Costa, and immediately after the conversation with that person, unnamed person, the president, Dr. We are the most smart politician that I've ever seen so far, decided to call. And what happened when he called? He brought about issues of their connection in the past. In order for him to make Costa to be a little bit relaxed by bringing in the past history among them to say, in a sense, and I'm just paraphrasing, I'm your big brother. I'm still here. Remember what we used to do as when we were together? And Costa brought those things up. Immediately after that, when Costa said, people, he said, no. According to Costa, the president said, nobody's going to do anything to you. This is your country. You're welcome anytime. What is the indication for me, from my own perspective and my own analysis? This is Dr. Weah putting a political capital in Costa Bank. And Costa going to Dr. Weah sooner or later will come and redeem that. And the redemption of this political capital, at my perspective, will be favorable. Now, let's go back to our own connection with Costa in terms of the CPP, because I am a member of I support CPP. I support Dr. Baka, and Dr. Baka is going to be the next president of the Republic of Liberia. Go up and calm down. You and your central right ANC people, you better come and understand Dr. Baka will be the next president of the Republic of Liberia. I'm not going to play around this here tonight. Now, the ANC and Honorable Cummings decided to derail themselves. It has nothing to do with Costa. Their customers have played a role by pronouncing what was happening, but ANC and Honorable Cummings decided president or nothing. How can you get into this type of game and you say my way or no way? You're not serious.
But why Joseph Boca cannot be? Why Joseph Boca won't be president?
Right, please. The liberal is speaking. Let me finish, and I will give you a chance to express your central right position, which is a conservative idea, which is not suitable for the audience that are listening to us right now. But let me go on. Kumi and his people, Kumi decided either his way or no way. You can't come to these kinds of conversations and say me or nothing else. This is Liberia. And Kumi himself told us so many times he has no connection with the Liberian people. And I thought, if Kumi, I know very well that Kumi is a good leader. There's no question asked. If the presidency was given to Kumi, Kumi would straighten Liberia up so much that all of us in the diaspora that want to go home, you will go home and you will enjoy yourself in our country. However, Kumi cannot get to that position because Kumi has no connection. And so the best way Kumi would have done that, Kumi as a vice president, demonstrate to the Liberian people that you have the leadership ability. People will recognize it immediately. After Dr. Baka time is over, you will come in easily. No, he didn't want to do that. So this is what we have. So please spare me about Costa derailing Kumi chances and what have you. Spare me that. Let me go back to this here and let me close up on this Costa and telephone issue. Mr. So, the Liberal is on the floor, please, if you don't mind. The Costa telephone issue, Mr. So, and the central right, Mr. George, and Nairobi, that is. Let me just say this to all three of you.
Wow.
This is very interesting. This is very interesting. Costa is not going to leave Dr. Bakai. Costa now have an issue. His issue now, for me, is his political career and his political future. Because the young people that follow Costa are not people who will allow you to just sway any way you want. They will hold him responsible. And he knows it. So Costa now going to have to be somehow respectful to the president and respectful to the presidency.
All right, let's be done. We're not on a fairy tale here. Let me.
I am not doing no fairy tale. I'm telling you what it is, Mr. So. That's my opinion.
All right.
Whether you like it or not, you and the center right, whether you guys like it or not, that's my opinion.
And we respect that.
To it.
We respect that. Thank you so much. We want to open the phone lines as well, but let's push this around. Mr. George.
Yeah.
You heard Samson told. What I didn't hear.
You heard the Liberal, please.
Okay, the Liberal. Whatever you want to say, the Liberal. Do you think his supporters going to get mad, or there will be some justifications? I know he's going to provide explanations. They're going to call people. Will they get mad? Because most of them has been very bitter to the president. And I'm not sure whether they saw this coming. Now conversation is being initiated. And I can tell you, when he's a politician, when politicians meet, there is a bargaining chip. There is a settlement that a camera can capture that you would not know, I would not know, but ultimately at the end of the day, seeing and knowing, Costa, I agree with Samson, he's a very smart guy. The future of this whole thing, as some of us say a long time, is dead because all of these people, they are greedy. They were unable to come to a consensus. They were unable. It was an easy process. Out of the four parties, only two were expressing their interest. So all that you have done, these two should have had an exclusive conversation, make it in a proportional faction. Hey, just what CDC did. CDC made it easy. There were three parties. CDC get a largest voting bloc. Next was the NPP. CDC made her position clear cut. We won the jackpot. We won the presidency. Prince Johnson, no, he not want to go anywhere. So they say, okay, but guess what? We want to give you some strategic ministries, and 60% of the county appointment goes to Prince Johnson and all of that. They didn't do that. They wanted to practice a democratic process. And I'm hearing this guy, this liberal from the California state, telling us he kept pushing this soundbite on this network, blowing this trumpet of an undemocratic process. Kumi should go on a boycott. Kumi should go on this one. And I don't get it. Where is he coming from with this?
It is ridiculous. When you people go together and say we're going to follow the democratic principles, why not go by it? They lay on they have 3 steps to get to someone who will be the standard bearer. They all agree to it. Why is it today Joseph Boakai, the LP are backing off that process? And the question I want to ask the Liberal, if you've seen that Mr. Comey feel that there's no other way except he being accepting the presidency, the nomination, or whatever, what if Joseph Boakai has proposed that, look, I can take anything. The outcome of the referendum, or the convention, I will take anything. Why Joseph Boakai? Why people don't ask him that? Why he insisting? You have seen Joseph Boakai. He had insisted, persistently said that he cannot take anything other than the presidency. So why you don't ask Joseph Boakai why he's saying that? Why you want to go after Comey who is saying the same thing? This is the double standard people have. Comey said, look, on this platform, it will go through the process. I will accept any results. Joseph Boakai said, no,
Samson
Samson
wants to bypass the
president.
process. He
So
does
why
not
you can
want to
why
follow
you
the
cannot
process.
ask Joseph Boakai why he insisting that he must be? This is the double standard people come to play.
Let me
Hold
if you don't mind.
on. It's
If you
not
don't want
please.
the process of democracy, then talk it. But if you agree to go into that process, accept it. Let me just close on this note. The Costa issue here, 2017, 18, Costa insulted all one of us for the CDC-led government. I think you can remember the Iboma Day. Costa at the time was pushing that message that the deal was a genuine deal. And if Liberian people who don't want a job where they can go to help, he was supporting the deal because the deal was a legitimate deal. Those were the words of Mr. Costa when he was supporting that deal. When it come find out that the deal was for it. Then he came and said, oh, because they were lying to him, so he couldn't continue to support them. Then what he said, when you were in Liberia at the time, Calasco brought envelope to him 5,000 or India from George Weah. Follow cost of the money. So this conversation today, for me, the people that support him, it's up to them. But I know many that will be disappointed today when they listen to him explaining.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing here. All what he said, what gave me the indication that it is true, or what he put in out there? Is it everything that said that he put out there is it true, or what his supporter wants to hear that what he put out there? This is the same thing. The Spoon TV went to Liberia, 4-hour meeting with George Weah. Costa now, they have made arrangement, backdoor arrangement. Today, 20 minutes, 30 minutes with him again. Everybody that went to that meeting at the time was Spoon. The person was a nice man. Today, Costa is George Weah is magnificent. He's a wonderful person.
Hold on.
Follow the trend.
Famous George. When people talking, I listen keenly, and I want to see where the connection, some sort of indictment is taking place now. Whether it was done concomitantly or it was something that worked behind the scene, I have no idea. But I want you to be vividly clear to our listeners and viewers. And Mr. We are going to come in. Spoon TV went to Liberia. 4 hours meeting. They have said that it was repeated again today. I remember. And here we have a conversation. Are you saying all of these were initiated by Spoon or someone within the Spoon family? Is that the case or what?
Oh yeah, the CEO of Spoon pronounced when you're leaving, he made a pronouncement when you're leaving from here that they were going to Liberia. They would be on the network to sit with the president, and Chad were interviewing. And the Liberian people were going to listen to that broadcast.
Is that being played? I'm just curious because I was out here. I haven't seen any footage. Are they play anything with the president?
No. Now, the president left from the executive mansion, drove to a hotel to go meet 5 or 6 gentlemen or lady, spent 4 hours with them. No footage, no audio. But they came up to say, hey, only the person who was playing Ludo, the person was nice.
Let me bring in Weah in this conversation here. We are taking, it's kind of like, and we're going to, what does that tell you? We in the media industry, if I want to meet a state, it's good to meet with the president. 4 hours, it's almost like a security, it's almost like the Ukraine summit now, the NATO summit that is going on 4 hours, that's lengthy. And nothing yet still coming out. In the middle of a consequential election pending 2023, media should play a neutral role. That's the basis of it. Even though the neutrality is very hard to determine, but we are there to tell the people exactly so that we'll be able to make an informed decision. Amos George is bringing out this here. That seems to be some sort of an indictment that maybe is coming from in there. Hey, we're going to go there to stabilize it. And believe me, it will work. All of a sudden, we see this happening. My question here, tomorrow, day after, in the coming days or week, the tone we heard from Costa today, moving forward, will it change? Will that temperament still be in place? Would there be anything that want to trickle again to see some sort of thing popping up? Or is it a mutual political understanding moving forward with this phone call? You can criticize my government, no insult, no this, no that, without ceasefire hold.
Yes, in I think 2000, was that 2005 or six, something like that. Seven upward. Costa was the special assistant to one representative called Victoria Lynch. That was district number 11 back then. Now, you understand? I think 13, district number 13 around that area, Raka were built. But then they have not done the demarcation, So Costa was working with that lady and he was with the CDC. So he and President Weah, they have had a very long working relationship. It was not only in 2017, even when Ambassador Weah became senator, they've been working together long time. So it wouldn't be strange to some of us to see Costa going back to his root. It wouldn't be strange to us because anything can happen. In politics, there is no, how do we call it,
It's
permanent
interest.
enemy. There is no permanent enemy. What we have is interest. You don't have enemy forever. So the bitterness, once the interest, once it is something that is meant to get for you to get power, for you to get elected, you have to put your pride in your back. You have to put your pride, that pride that you have to put it in your closet, leave it in your closet, and reach out. Now we saw the president. He spent 4 hours, like you said, with the Spoons TV group. Now what Pat Joyce said that there were no footage. The guys released footage on Facebook. The only thing, the audio, there were no audio because I think it was not necessary for that according to what they went for. You understand? But there were chit chat with the president. Then the only audio I saw was the one with the vice president. The one with the vice president is all on YouTube where they were discussing with the vice president.
In her
Everything went,
office.
yeah, in your office. We listened to everything that he discussed. But with the president, I didn't see that much. I didn't see something like that. What I saw was
Why,
footage.
why, why you think? So what was the basis of the conversation? Can we make a guess game? I want to bring in the liberal.
All along, there is another thing. All along, Spoon TV and the Costa show, they have been fighting. Who is the biggest? Is another issue. Now, the same range of discussion that ever went on today between Costa and the president was the same trend because the guys came after the meeting on their show, they discussed whatever they discussed with the president, but they did not play the audio. They discussed that we met with the president and we asked the president this, and the president responded in the same manner. It was the same thing that Costa did. So you see, so it's something that is very hard to understand, but we just have to accept it as it is. So the issue
So
of, as we go forward to these elections, there will be unexpected crossover that the Liberian people, even those people they believe in, those they trust, even talk show hosts will also pledge their support to people that some people don't expect. Oh yes, you understand? So it is something like Pajoy said. Most of his followers we will be disappointed. We've been in Liberia,
so
we know.
yeah,
We've been in Liberia, we know.
let me bring
If
in the liberal here. Liberal, this is very much interesting, and it's a news making thing.
yeah,
It's a news making thing. It's almost equivalent to Sean Hannity meeting Joe Biden. When Sean Hannity right now or Bill Conahan, when they go and sit with Glenn Beck, when they go and sit with Joe Biden right now to have a conversation, of course, it's a pivotal point that in politics, Costa having a phone conversation, 20 minutes. But let me, what is the downside? Yes, phone network is a very big network. We see as a CNN of Liberia, which is okay, nothing wrong with that, doing significant things. But what it means in a democratic world to have a media institution to sit with politicians, it is not a, you can have an interview off camera, but we yet to know the details of that sit in with the president for 4 hours is something what it means ahead of the 20 to 23. And you know, I know media is a very influential institution. When media is in your column, believe me or not, is good.
So
Go ahead quickly, so we'll start picking some
you
more.
can't poke quickly on me. You didn't poke
Oh,
quickly on the two gentlemen that spoke before me. Now you're gonna tell me to
But,
go ahead
but,
quickly,
but
Mr.
the
So.
liberal, the liberal,
why you let
Yes.
us pick on little things?
you went to Bon County and you were given time to talk. Why you cannot speak according to the time I has been given?
Yeah,
Please.
you went to Brown County, the people welcome you. What's
People
the
gave you
problem?
time.
Okay.
What's
All
the
right.
problem with
Okay.
Brown County?
I will let that one slide. But
Okay.
let me just say this. Mr. George spoke earlier. Asked few questions. Let me address the one quickly here. Mr. George, and I'll be very honest with you. First thing is this. I've been saying this from day one, and I'll continue to say it. Cummings came into this thing
Oh,
without investigating or even trying. Cummings came with trusting these people, these politicians, Liberian politicians. And for me, Liberian politicians are not to be trusted. He didn't do that. He trusted them. Now, Honorable Dr. Ambassador Bakai, so former vice president, do you expect us, as citizens of the Republic of Liberia, to sit here and say Dr. Baka will be second to another person? No, we're not going to do it. And Mr. George, please, the liberal is speaking, if you don't mind. No, we're not going to do that. You coming in, you are Liberian, you're a young man. Let me speak the real Liberian English now. The man coming in, that young man, he all yet. Dr. Baka all already. So why you want why he can't come and say, okay, sir, let me go and learn from you. That's how we respect people. You can come in here every time and then you say, I mean now. No, wait for your time. Wait for your time. I'm gonna put it to you as secretary. But let me go back to this issue with the Costa, the Spoon, and the president. This is what I want to say. I would suggest to the Liberian people. This thing is not over. During the election, Spoon will come up with the audio part of that conversation. I bet you they will. Number one. Now, going back to Costa and the president, all I can say and wrap that one quickly for you, Mr. So, is this. Costa is not somebody you can just say, oh, dismissing. Costa is a very intelligent, smart young man. Costa knows exactly what he's doing. And I can assure you that if even Dr. Weir himself does not believe when he asked Costa, I hope I'm not being recorded. Costa said, no, I'm not recording you. You think Dr. Weir going to take that to the bank to say Costa is not recording? I doubt it. I doubt it. And do we also want to sit here tonight and believe that Costa did not record the conversation? I doubt it as well. So if as time goes on, these things will play out by themselves, and the entire population will get to see. What I do take out of this whole conversation is the smartness. Now, many of us, and I'm one of those, on my platform, oh, Dr. Weir, he know no book. The man are smart. Please, what he demonstrated today is the most I'm so ridiculous, and I'll be ridiculous one more time. That he's a genius, political genius. What he had done here. This, and let me go back to my own community, and this one I'll call names. Remember during the Jida community, in the Judea community during the election after Timon Collins was president. And one of Timon Collins' higher critics was of my friend, Babla, Alfonso Babla, the most critic for Timon Collins in the Judea community. You know, Timon Collins this, Timon Collins that. So what did Timon Collins do? He went and got Alfonso Babla first cousin, and they're very close, just like brothers, and brought him in. I say chairman for the membership committee. What happened after that? Did we hear Alfonso coming out to say anything? No, that was it. This is exactly what Dr. Weir has done. Costa is the mouthpiece. He has a big platform. There's no question of ice. Costa today, now here we are. We're not even talking about CPP or whatever. We're talking about Dr. Weir calling Costa. So you think these things were not calculated? This is a political genius at its best. So let's give this to the president that he has won the day. Dr. Weir, you have won the day. And I say to you,
you gotta say that because you gotta go back to Liberia.
I was in Liberia. When I was in Liberia, my mouth was shut because I don't want CDC to whip me. And I don't want anybody to touch me. So I closed my mouth. But I'm back. When I go back again, I will close my mouth. So I don't mind saying that. But on a very serious note, what Dr. Weir and his people demonstrated today is now they're most likely, but I'll be careful how this come out. Most likely there will be some sort of a little wrangling among the group in the Bakai group right now. However, Dr. Bakai is sophisticated enough to know that this is just a fad. Most likely he will call Costa to say what's happening. And Costa most likely will tell Dr. Bakai, nothing here, we just have a conversation. And that's it.
Right?
Exactly. But here's the thing. Your Kesselly, and I'll call names. I don't mind that. I'm like, ooh, you can't do nothing to me. My what you do to me? I'm like, ooh. Kesselly, Anthony Kesselly, and the George Lobo, and everyone else, they are kind of concerned right now, to be honest with you. However, of course they are. And however, Costa will tell them, because they can't, what they're going to do to Costa? They ain't able them young men. So this is why Costa going to, if they approach you, Costa said, I'm your business. That's it. And nothing they can do. The only thing they're going to do, they can't even block Costa from getting close to Dr. Bakai. However, from a political standpoint, their engagement with Costa now is going to be tempting. It's not going to be wholesale. They will be very careful. Thing they say in the background, their conversation with Costa is not going to be a little bit circumspect, to be honest with you.
So
Costa is politically popular.
In other words, this is a very important thing here, because this hangs over the entire political process, and people are going to be looking at. So are you saying trust going to factor in now?
Yes.
We empty ourselves all here. Well, it serves as a reminder to Boyka, because Boyka too was inflicted by Costa, and later on there was a political reconciliation. George Weir and the CDC, they have been heavily inflicted by Costa, and he said, you not want to talk to Weir. Yeah, we see now good descriptions of the conversation with Weir. That's a flashback to Joseph Boyka and his folks.
Only those that have weak mind within the Baka circle will now look at Costa with suspicion. But those who know themselves, including Dr. Baka, they're not even going to pay attention to this, most likely.
Are you sure?
But the trust level, as you correctly stated, the trust level, accepting rhyme, it's not going to be the same. So, but like I said, Dr. Baka is sophisticated. He will look at Costa in this conversation to say what's going on. First of all, you ask Costa, and Costa will say, oh man, it's not anything, and he will let it go. So that I know for sure. But the people like George Lobo, the Anthony Cassidy, and those people, there's another young man who was so rude to me the last time, because I used to have interview with him of some rude person. He hasn't even taken office yet, and so rude within the Baka group. And these are people that are young man, and these are people that, what do you do around here? You ain't nothing, and you're gonna be rude to the liberal. Do you know who I am? You're going to be rude to me. I don't know his name. I care less to know his name. George Lobo know who he is. And they say the kind of people, that's the person who are so insecure in their position that now they will be concerned with custom. But those who are grounded in things, they will be paying no mind to this thing.
Okay, let's bring that out. I say in the next by 9:15, we're going to open the phone lines here. Let's see here. I want to see whether you will recognize these people here. A lot of factions of Liberty Party. I mean, it's just crazy. Let's see here. Let me get this thing off
Are
here.
we not talking about the president's phone? Why are we bringing Liberty Party into the conversation now?
Who said we're going to talk a wide range of issues? Why you want to?
Liberty Party is not part of it. It shouldn't be part of a wide range of issues.
But you're not a moderator of the show.
I don't understand where he's going. Why are you part of your own party? Why are you running away from your own shadow?
Let's go ahead. Let's have a conversation.
Okay.
But let's be civil. Let's be civil. Let's be civil about Liberty Party, please.
Oh,
let's see this here.
But they are not with us today. As the co-head of this death has been laid upon them. To the memories of Councillor Charles Walker Bromsky, the founding father of this party, to the memory of Jesse Tilu, one of the stalwarts of this party, to the memory of Jerome Walker, as far back as the days of the Friends of Bromsky, and to the memory of Abel Walker of Lima County, one of the founding members of this party. Shall we all observe the moment of silence? Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, I don't know. Amos George, why are you touching your hair? Well, yeah, look, that's a faction wing of the Liberty Party of Nyombi Kanga, Steve Ako, Darius Dillon, and all of these folks. What are they doing? What is the mission of this whole opposition now? You have the Belete wing, you have the Kanga wing. Recognition is being given to ones. What is the message to the Liberian people?
Mr. So, this is a shame. And if they let Bronsky, if his dog, I know he's rolling his grave.
The guy has picture. Let me put a picture here so that we see. You see that Bronsky there, the late Bronsky there, Steve Zako is there.
These people, they don't care about the Liberian people. These people, ego is above the country. Yomi Kanga, the Darius Dillon, the Steve Zako, the Musa Belete, these people really didn't have the Liberian people at heart or the country at heart. They would have resolved this thing ever since. The issue that divided the party basically was about which candidate to support. Are you saying these people as mature politicians that have this country, that have Liberia at heart, they could not sit on the table and say, look, you know what happened? This is where we are. Let us discuss who we want to support and who we will not support in this place. And let the body that is charged to make that decision. Why they could not go and lobby it in the institution that they go? Because that's how you exert your influence. You want something to do in an institution. There are others who oppose it. That's when the leadership come in. If normally Kanga had a leadership ability, she would have gone in there to convince other executives of the party. Or Darren Dillon would have gone in there to convince other people.
Are you saying they are not familiar with the word lobby?
No. These people don't have no skill, no leadership ability. Because to resolve that issue is when you see political hand twisting.
Okay, I got 2 minutes for us to pick up
Yeah.
picking
So
up phone call.
these people,
Mhm.
they are just help to increase the pressure, the burden of the Liberian people with their action for their own political endorsement. Because Yomika said she want, they say, because I see her picture always just about as VP. This is what they want. It's not about the people, it's about themselves. Because
Okay.
if it was about the Liberian people, they would have been able to resolve the issue and
Everybody
move on.
want
And
everybody
look
wants
at
to
the
be
poor
in the
parties in disarray.
yeah, everybody wants to be in the photo. So Mr. Wei, from let's hear from you. Is there still opposition? Can we still consider these people? Would they come together? Would they all form? Would there be some sort of consensus? Would there be some political reconciliation? Unity Party, Liberty Party, ANC, I don't care what happened, they all need that. And interestingly, because my understanding, this collaboration is an open federation, it's not a closed federation. So Cummins can go out there, Boyka can go out there, these other millions of political parties that does not have no base, they don't have anything, but they are also looking for accommodation at the end of the day. And I can tell you, the CDC has the financial capability, they have the political will, they have the resources to incorporate these people. Who don't want to be in the photo? Who don't want to be wearing no tinted glasses? Who don't want to be director or minister or deputy minister in Liberia? More or less, the game is in favor of the incumbent. So these people here, are they telling the Liberian people the truth in terms of their oppositions and they are there for the Liberian people? See what is happening. People are confused. They don't know which direction because their leader no sense of direction, no talking point. They are not reassuring the people. You're telling somebody they can't do this, but you are unable to prove that you can even do it. Why should we believe them?
So thank you so much. So with that in mind, um the thing is that like the video you showed, I saw Wilmon Smith, the secretary, the self-proclaimed secretary general of the group from the Yomli scam, and Senator DeLong, all of them,
The
they
liberal will
are
not be
paying homage.
the liberal will not be
Yeah,
happy with you. Let me tell you right now. See how you got
yeah, they are paying homage to Councillor Bronsky. And this is not the first time. Every time they go and bring Councillor Bronsky photo, praying to his photo, that cannot solve the situation. It cannot solve the problem that they have. You know,
Are
Councillor
you
Bronsky
there?
has
Are you seeing the
like,
great councillor
like
bucket photo?
yeah, every time they bring his photo, they put Steve Darwin photo there. Then they are praying for 1 minute or moment or silence, all that kind of stuff. This thing cannot help the party. It
Wow.
cannot help the party. What they are doing now, they are causing more harm to the party because wherever Councillor Bronsky is, the Bible says that when you die, you die. You don't have that, you know, well, the way we feel, the dead do not feel that way. So what they can do if they want to protect Councillor Bronsky legacy, let them put their pride in their trust in their closet. Forget about who did not wrong you. In the interest of the party, in order for the party to prosper, come together because all of these divisions cannot make them to go anywhere. On a serious note, normally to obtain power is very easy. But the maintenance of power is very tough because getting to power is like a man who is just maybe approaching a girl that he wants to marry. Oh, I'm going to do this for you. From the beginning, you see that man going to visit, he's carrying his scrap hand, so he is in the plastic to give.
Eh,
But now maybe that little job he has, after some time, that job goes their way. And the crab now, he does not carry the crab hand. He carries snake hand straight. So you see, so
okay.
to
Let me
maintain power is very difficult.
okay. Okay, liberal.
So seeing these guys in the opposition being disunited, what if they get into power wherein you have to distribute positions from one end to another? There will be fight, major fight. You see,
Okay.
Mr. So,
Okay, so liberal.
Yeah, look, Mr. Soul. I mean, this is Liberty Party we're talking about. I am a member of Liberty Party USA. I am not a member of Liberty Party Liberia, but
Oh,
that's why I thought discussing this issue was going to be kind of a little bit difficult. But let me be honest. Let me be honest. Look, those of us that are heavily engaged with Councillor Bronsky in terms of political movement here in the United States, uh, these are things some of us used to talk about because
Are you having two A when it comes to Liberty Party? You want like an orphan child, you not know what
yeah.
you holding.
It's
You're
very
two
quiet.
A.
we're talking about something that some of us had invested financially and in emotionally
Oh, have
and
my
everything
sympathy.
else you
You're
can think
always
of.
making wrong investments, so that's what
It,
happened.
it doesn't make us so. Liberty Party is the party where if you want to be somebody in Liberia, you come and join Liberty Party. That was then. But let me say this. One thing for sure, and I'm going to say here tonight, I think I stated that before on our show. I'm glad Liberty Party didn't take state power because it would have been a big mess. It would have been a big mess
Hmm.
from what is happening now. Now, when we start friends of Bronskin then turned to Liberty Party because Liberty friends of Bronskin Bronskin wanted another party, Bullet Party, and people say no, but all that kind of history we can tell you and spend all time, but that's not the point. The idea here was what is happening now with Liberty Party. The people that I feel most sad about is the wife of the late councillor and the family members of the late councillor. Because Councillor Bronsky, I can say this here tonight. He worked so hard to have a Liberty Party to be a genuine and respectful party in the Republic of Liberia. However, his engagement with some characters, and I'll be specific,
Who are those
Musa
characters?
Ability, Musa Ability.
And who else?
Well, I'm not going to go that far, but I'll
Why
just say this.
why are you single out
Mr.
Musa
So, will
ability?
you please let me make my point? We, those of us, felt not that Musa Ability is a dangerous person to the Republic of Liberia, not that Musa Ability is not a human being or is not a citizen, but some of us felt the kinds of thing that was being written about Musa Ability in terms of financial misappropriation fund and what have you, including the FIFA issue. Some of us, when we have this meeting, the discussion was we should not do what we can to try to stay away from Musa Ability. We should stay away from Musa Ability. That particular conversation, and people didn't listen to that. They didn't pay attention to it, including Councillor Bronsky. And I know some people that are so smart, people who were part of Liberty Party. Some of them, you remember the Pro agenda for CDC? Some of the author of that Pro agenda was some member of Liberty Party. Now, Bronsky decided that he was going to bring in Musa Ability. For what reason, I'm not going to speculate. But here we are. You brought in Musa Ability.
For his
And
money.
not only that, the Dallas Dillon, my own sister, they all went and gravitated towards Musa Ability, putting their arms
Who is your
around
sister?
him.
Who is your sister?
Humbly.
The good senator of Grand Bassa County,
You don't
the
think even
good
know?
daughter,
You
the
know his
good
sister
daughter
name?
of Grand Bassa County, if you don't mind. So they brought in Musa Ability. Now, when you bring in somebody who is buying trucks for your organization, who is paying the bill for your organization, and you want to tell me you want to muscle that person, it's intellectually dishonest, politically dishonest. You can't have Musa Ability doing all of these things, and then you say you want to deny him the privilege of running the organization. You can't do that. You can't do that. You have already accepted whatever it is that this man is doing. But yes, still, you don't want him to run the organization? That is unacceptable for me and any other person, a decent person, to say. So, in terms of Liberty Party, all the wrangling that is going on, this is what we deserve. We brought it on ourselves, and hopefully we can deal with it. But now, what do you have? Liberty Party 1, Liberty Party 2, let that go on. I'm still a member of Liberty Party USA, and we will do what we have to do.
Wait, let me just ask you. Is it Liberty Party Sacramento? Because all the US, the Unity Party function I don't see in Philadelphia, I think I don't see you. So is it Sacramento branch?
The Liberty Party that I belong to,
I don't know why you're covering yourself.
Mr. So let me answer this question. This is a good question because I always claim to be member of Liberty Party USA. No, I have my engagement with Liberty Party. I've tempered that down on a very serious note. Not that I don't want what is $250 or $200 whatever that money. Money, $250 money. Those things I can go and hustle in the street and pay $200. I'm not rich, but $250, every one of us can pay that. But that's not the point. The idea is these people in Liberia, they've been practicing this debacle of Liberty Party for a very long time. They want us in the diaspora to pay money to them. But when the time comes for us to make the decision as Liberty Party in general, no, we want to listen to you. You ain't got no vote yet. That's the kind of thing they do to us. We have written them. We have sent. So for me, I'm still a member of Liberty Party until they kick me out. But for me to fully engage, it's not possible right now.
Look, Emo George and Marcus, Samson to look, they raised their own alligator. He was the one who defended ability. That's what happened when you are a man or you are a person who is not consistent with our principle.
My defense for ability was genuine because they were accusing Musa Ability. The FIFA people were accusing Musa Ability of doing X, Y, and Z. And I was able to uncover a lot of documents, and I want to bring that to light. I brought those to light.
Look, Samson told.
We got our people to pick up. We got to pick up phone call here. You are completely very dishonest as Darius Dillon because your saw Musa Ability.
It's not Darius Dillon, it's the light. Darius Dillon, the light.
Yeah, whatever his life for you.
We are light.
But when you come the next day, when you raise your own alligator, when the alligator ready to chew you up, then you come tell us, say, oh, this, that. That's the same thing you're doing. He knew that he was a crook, he was a criminal, he did.
I didn't say that. That's not my
I'm
word.
not saying you. I'm talking about your life. Yet he took money from the man. Then you come back now. You want to define him.
The light is not a crook. The light is.
I'm not saying. He said. I'm talking about that's the identity.
But the light
is not a crook.
You know.
But the light is according to him.
According to him. And
you said
here we are. We have three gentlemen, and now all getting out on me because I a Liberty Party member. They're all getting out on me, and yet still we're not even vying for the position to be the president.
Let's take some phone calls here, gentlemen, and so we can have our people to have their say into this conversation. It's a national conversation. But in the meantime, let's take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back into this conversation.
From the West African nation of Côte d'Ivoire, Liberia Public Radio and Television present Business Diary. This program focuses on the activities of business institutions and individuals in society.
I'm Jeremiah Senior, CEO of All Nation Bank.
Okay, let's go right here. Let's go right here. Let's pick up the phone call here. Our first caller is on the line. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from? Are you there, caller? Let me see. Caller, are you there? Oh, okay. Let me go to. Hello? Are you there, caller? Uh-oh, what's going on here? Are you hearing me? All right, I don't know what's going on here. Let me see. Let me call them. Can we call it off and call back and see? Call one of them. Folks, just bear with us. We're trying to. Okay. Okay. Hello? Hello? Hmm. Rancho, are you there? I don't know what's going on. I'm not getting. Mr. Rancho, are you hearing me? I'm not sure what's going on. Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, hold on. I'm not sure why. Hold on. Just hold on. I'll try to route it through the system. Just bear with me 1 minute. Let me see. Something not going right. Are you there? Okay, go ahead. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we'll try to figure it out. Oh, let me see. Something is the cause. Go ahead, James.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay,
Samson, are you hearing the person? Okay, yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. So. The phone call that was generated between Henry and the president today
Right.
is questionable. If you look at it technically, Mr. So, there is a hidden political hands behind that phone call between Henry and the president today. And I think it was orchestrated by Nathaniel McGill. Nathaniel McGill is a very smart politician. He knows that 2023 election is around the corner. And the biggest opposition was CPP. But looking at CPP going in political disarray, and he said, look, I think when we bring Henry in our corner, it will be the right thing for us to do. Because Henry has a very big platform. Henry is a very smart young man. Henry has a popularity. Henry has political influence. And Henry is a big critic of President Weah administration. But the question I'm asking, what I'm saying is questionable. 3 years now, you haven't spoken with the president. I'm told he said that the president likes him after, he disengaged from them, so he was supporting them. And then I think Nathaniel McGill were able to actually orchestrate a conversation between he and the president. But that's my take. I think Henry is playing political gimmick. I mean, I don't care what nobody says. The point I'm making here is June 7 protests were one of the biggest protests ever in the history. And that it gave momentum. It took a toll on the government. And the second protest was held. That one was critical. That one was the controversial. And on the basis of that, Mr. So, an information came to Henry that, hey, you got to leave Liberia now or else you'll be in trouble. Henry was smuggled out of Liberia by the way of Freetown. And he was even detained briefly. But that's my point. Why is Henry now having a conversation with President Weah after all the years? Is Henry trying to actually ask or trying to play game, political game, to get the government to make it go back home? Because Prime Minister said, we have died on S money. The man came here to go to school. He got a BSc. Now he working on your master. He can stay here forever. He came as a student. He want to go back home. But he afraid to go back home. So if you look at it, Henry is very smart. He's looking for way. And when I was watching the podcast today, he said, Mr. President, I want to attend the program in July. And the president asked, are you recording me? The conversation. He said, no, I'm not doing it, but I don't know if he does that. I don't know. But the point I'm making here is he said, okay, Mr. President, I want you to document my invitation. And the president said, you got it. But hey, like our brother Reggie said, politics is interest. Who knows? If Henry want to cross carpet, he got a way of saying it to his follower. The main follower him, not all of them. It's interest. What happened? McGill say, hey, Henry, it's about time for you to come in our corner. But I doubt it. Because most of the followers are following him. They are following because he's being critical of the president. So again, there's some people asking the question, oh, wait a minute, why is Henry having a conversation with the president after criticizing and even at some point?
So quickly here. Do you have issue? Let me ask you quickly before we let you go. Do you have issue with that? Is that a major concern? Is there any sort of mistrust factoring in here?
Yeah, the reason why I'm placing emphasis on this, Mr. So, I mean, it's just the reality. There was a dirty image of Costa that was all on social media. I'm not going to go down that route. And then Henry Costa want to go back to Liberia, but he's skeptical on ground that when he goes back, they were going to arrest him. So now he's like, okay, let me just try to open the conversation between the president and myself so that I can make myself, available to go to Liberia. So that is the reason why I'm placing that, that emphasis on the phone call today. But I'm not against it. The president, I just want to call him. Yeah. So that's my little 2 cents. I know Henry will want to go back home, but until he go back home, he have to call the president McGill so they can welcome him. Also to call for documentation of the visitation in Liberia. All right. So just to allude to that, sir. Thank you for putting me the time.
Yeah. Well, guys, was he audible enough?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure why. Somebody got a fan on or something. Let me see.
That's me.
Hello, caller, are you there? Yeah, good. How are you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Bryson Harris, and I'm calling from Delaware.
From Delaware. Are you to President Biden place right now, or where are you? I thought you were going for a NATO meeting.
Yeah, I was trying to do that, man, but it's busy.
Okay.
So
Okay.
on the weekend, we always.
All right. Okay, so yeah, we've been having a conversation on a wide range of issues. What is claiming your attention this evening as a Liberian?
I have 2 questions. That is one to Mr. George. What did he expect Henry Costa to do when the president of the Republic of Liberia called him?
Okay, and what is the next question?
The second one is, talk about Mr. Cummings and Mr. Bogai. Bogai working in Liberia, he lived in Liberia for whether 50 years or whatever it was, he was serving the government as they say. So there's something to see. Cummings lived abroad, what we call as a director or managing director or whatever his position was. So there are 2 persons there. You have seen somebody providing what they have done, showing what they have done. Cummings Work with Coca-Cola is an organized organization. It's set up already. You go there, you want to do what is stipulated. You're not going to change it. Now you come and you look at somebody who have worked for 40 years in your own system and somebody who comes from abroad and tell you how we do this. It's the same thing. The platform we saw for George Weah. When George Weah came, he said, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. Where are we today? At least if you are somebody we have seen before performing, then you have something to talk about.
So hold on 1 second. You saw Boyka performing before?
Well, whatever it is, whatever he did, when I was growing up, I know he worked at Lpr-Tv, he worked at Lpr-Tv, agricultural system. I learned to ride motorcycle from Bola because why? He had LCADP, he had NCADP, and BCADP. He had people going everywhere in the agriculture sector. Show me one thing Mr. Cummings has done in Liberia, please.
So the vote of Liberia, this is getting very interesting, and I think we want to find, are we voting on policy, on issue, what do we do, or are we talking about, okay, Alfonso should plant the cocoa farm first, that should be a precondition to presidency or to be a representative or senator, to before you can be a senator or representative to a grand jury? Is that a conceived mind that we have, or are we looking at these people, their agenda, their platform, their manifesto, how they're going to have their infrastructure development package, education, health, how much they're willing to invest into infrastructure? Are we concerned with those things, or are we just looking at a road? I took a motorbike from Kuala Home to Foya, and it was Joseph Boyka time, so we might give it to Joseph Boyka?
Thank you, sir. Manifesto. What they have done. How many documentation? How many documents have you now seen that people say they will do this, they will do this, we will do this, and it have not been done?
I haven't even seen any of them. I'm not seeing anything. I'm asking this question because you draw a line with Cummings and Dara Boyka.
So if that is the case, at least you have an idea of what he has done.
Where?
So my question is, what has Mr. Cummings done that make you to believe? Go on Google and check it. What did he do? What has he done that make you to think he's the best person to be the president?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Because I find leaders, but if people come to say they will do this, they will do this, they will do that. Joshua did the same thing. Where are we today? So if Cummings come from America today,
okay. So before I let you go, if all of these people have done this, then there seems to be a repetitions of all of these people. So why you want to believe in Boyka now?
Because I've seen a little bit of things. I can't take one over. I can't take one. I can't take zero for one.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Because I've seen something that he has done.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me go to the other caller before I go to the panelists back. 347 number 334. Good evening, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. So. I've been calling from the state of New York.
Okay, let's hearing you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, the call today by the president to Helen Costa, Liberians, who are in the habits of election, when election around, they are each other group fighting one another. They should think twice.
Why?
Because politicians, lawyers, police officers, these people, you cannot trust them. Don't forget about the police officer. Politician and lawyer, they only seek their interests. And Ellen Costa made it clear today, often talk that he's after his interests. And I'm not against President. We are, reaching out to Costa. But he's a president of a nation. Placing a call to a figurative was wrong.
You say it was wrong?
Other people may see it, in another sense. But there's no view. You're a man that was chased out of Liberia. You're a man who disrupted Ghana Hospital, where patients were in the hospital. He created a whole battle, and he disrupted the country on the road. He escaped to another country. The president from this man accepted the premises. Or he placed a call to Costa. I mean, you play with the Liberian people. You play with the Liberian people. So they should open their eyes.
Okay. All right.
Another thing is, I have a question for Mr. Joe.
Okay, go ahead quickly.
I listen to Mr. Blaku. I listen to Mr. Blaku. Mr. Cummings is a good man, Cummings has leadership ability. If Cummings is a good man and Cummings has leadership ability, why are you supporting Mr. Walker?
Okay. Oh, my goodness. I wish you were closer. I've asked this question numerous times. He's unable. Maybe he's going to provide answers for us tonight. All right.
I rest my case.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, are you there?
Yeah.
George, you are with a Braku, or you were the first person?
Go to him.
Yeah, go ahead quickly. So
The guy had to go and he said, what I expected Costa to do if the president of the nation called him. Hey, I'm not frowning on Costa while the president called him. I'm talking about the substance, the timing of the call, and what was discussed. It was not live conversation. Costa and the president had one-to-one. And he came out to tell us, to tell his people, this is what we discussed. What do I do? Should I take it? Maybe by face value, but I don't trust him because his past behavior. And also because he said some things. When this conversation was initiated, it didn't start today. All the back and forth they have been going, he never told any of his supporters. It's today when the president called him, according to him.
Probably they were in a they have not reached a consensus.
When the president called him today, that's when he came out to say it. But then the person, the scholar just like said something again. He said, why the president spoke to Costa, because Costa is a fugitive. Which is right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yes.
Costa ran from justice. If the president is the minister of justice not going to drop those charges?
No, the Solicitor General, he came on this network that he was going to do everything possibly he can to extradite Costa because he was a fugitive. And
but these are the things. In the last one, he said, what has Comey done for Liberia? You know, it's sad. This notion that some people believe or have is that when they put Excel to the, when you go to run a corporation, everything is just set and that's it. But I want to tell him, let him go and do more research. When these corporations, when these people go to that point of executive, they are paid by commission, and what they do to promote that entity. There are rules are going about what you do there as a manager for the shareholder to make more money. It is your idea that you bring in. It is why those people are kept at that level. You don't just walk and sit and say, oh, everything is done. No, it's the idea what you bring to that market.
Okay.
So let him have that. And for Boakai, he said Boakai ran BCADP. I mean, yeah. I mean, the LPMC ran it. Okay, I will give it to him. But is it seen that everything was set in place when Boakai went there? That everything was just when Boakai went, so he just followed it. He didn't. That Boakai did not create anything to change the corporation, to bring people in, that he didn't create anything. So you see, when we are loyal to people, but we become blind. What we should be looking for all the political candidates, people who want to lead Liberia, is the platform. What they would do for this country is not what he did personally in their life. If you see so, Boakai had not been elected. Boakai had never been elected individual as representative, senator in his whole life. He ran on Ellen Johnson Sally. Boakai had not all Boakai position. He has been a very good faithful servant. That's what I know him to be. A good faithful servant. That's what I know him to be.
Okay.
Boakai had never won any elected office in Liberia.
Okay, let's get a liberal answer here tonight. The liberal.
Yes, Mr. So.
I think this guy questions he have been asked in the past. Now it's come back to right here. Do you have answer for him tonight?
Yeah, definitely, Mr. So. Definitely. I've always have answered. Any question you ask, I'm ready to answer. Look, I believe that this young man most likely have never had the opportunity to listen to my show, and therefore he is a little bit need to disabuse his notion. The question he asked, which is legitimate and it's a good question. I've always come out here and say this, and I will continue to say, if I were Comey, I'll go second to Dr. Boakai. Comey is a good leader. Comey has a leadership ability. However, let me say this again. Comey is not connected Kumi do not have the popularity to win vote in Liberia. People in Liberia are not familiar with Kumi's ability to lead. People in Liberia do not know how much Kumi has, how much ability Kumi has to be able to lead. Dr. Baka has been around.
Will you quantify that when you say people?
I mean, voter. You're not one of them. You ain't got no voting right in Liberia, so you're not one of them.
Oh, because I asked you, so you can't answer the question. That's a give me.
Ridiculous.
I'm just giving it to you right there. You and your far right, you got no voting right in Liberia. You can't vote. So
I have voting right there.
Excuse me?
I have voting right there. So
I don't know much about you here, Nairobi. I'm digging out, and I'll find out very shortly. I will find out very shortly. But anyhow, when I say people, I mean people who can vote in Liberia. Many people in Liberia, Cummins and Bakai was going to be the redeemer. They have pinned their hopes on Cummins and Bakai so much that if all Cummins has to do was to put aside his own ambition at this time. Cummins came on your show, Mr. So, and said if he doesn't have this, he's no longer going to seek any political office in Liberia. Must he be president of the Republic of Liberia in order to redeem Liberians? Must he be president? Mr. So, please, the Lpr is serious. Must he be president anyhow to be able to do something decent for the people of the Republic of Liberia? No.
But he's doing something already.
Mr. Center, right? I did not interrupt. You see, this is what you and this Donald Trump, Shahan, and they band together. You people do to me all the time. When I'm speaking, when you guys are talking, I don't say anything. You give yourself the moderator give you all of the time to talk, and they say nothing. Doesn't interrupt you. I don't say nothing either. I don't interrupt. But when I'm speaking, and the fact that I am in control there, I'm the counterweight to you and the far right conservative. I'm the counterweight. And if you guys feel that I'm hitting you so hard, you try to interrupt me. So this is not something that our audience would take kindly on. Let me just go on. Okay. The young question was, why, if I believe Kumi has a good leadership ability, why am I pushing him to go honor Dr. Baka? Dr. Baka is a redeemer. Dr. Baka has the ability to be connected with the Liberian people. Dr. Baka, as you all have been saying all night, being in Liberia, have done things in Liberia for the last 40 years. Dr. Baka is a household name in Liberia. Kumi is not.
Yeah, all the opposition, they fire him from all.
So, will you please protect me on this show? If you think they say, unless you don't want to protect me, then I have no other choice but to say good luck to you. Okay, so the point here is this: Kumi has no connection. He told us this. It's on audio, on video. He said, I don't have connection with the Liberian people. He told us that. Now, if Cummins, and to demonstrate his ability for the Liberian people to see that he can lead, go honor Dr. Bakai for 6 years as a vice president, and you show to the people, to the international community that's supporting you. Instead, what has Cummins been doing? What is he doing right now? Listening to this lady that brought disgrace to the Republic of Liberia, Madam Ellen Sally Johnson, that is.
What are you going that far for?
Yeah, but Mr. Farray, will you please let me express myself? Cummins listen to Madam Saliv, and until, you know what many people in Liberia continue to say? Cummins will only change, God forbid, if Madam Saliv is no longer alive, which I don't wish that on her. I want her to be alive because I want her legacy to be degraded. I want her to be alive to see that she has done much damage to this country than what she said, because she was part of the war machine. And we Liberian people believe in her to come and redeem herself. She didn't do that. She
So
keep
let me
him
ask you.
good behavior and stole all of the money. I say so.
I say
Yeah,
so.
because Joe, we are not stealing.
I say so. Let me ask you: is the current president, President Weah, is he taking also from the former president?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking the liberal.
Let me ask him a question. I'm getting ready to go back to Liberia, and I'm not. I defer that question. I plead the fifth. I'm not going to answer that question because I'm getting ready to go back to Liberia.
Oh, okay. You got a job with the government?
Where you gotta do where you're going
Because
back?
I'm getting ready to go back to Liberia. I'm not going to instigate or trying to bring in anything here with a certain government. I respect this government. I criticize, but I do so with respect, and I want to leave it as that. Let me go back to Kumi. Let's leave Dr. Weir out of this conversation right now. Let me go back to Kumi. So this young man that asked this brilliant question. Kumi has the ability to lead, but Kumi must demonstrate to the Liberian people through the vice presidency, which is his to turn down. You become vice president of the Republic of Liberia. In the next 6 years, you'll be president. And in fact, after that, Kumi will also show to the
okay,
let me finish. Kumi then can go 12 years. That's your question.
So, do you believe it's been alleged and reported by some of your folks, very folks within the opposition, that Kumi, whatever term or word that they have used, deploy, finger, tamper with the documents? Do you believe that?
No.
Do you think Ambassador Boyka believe that?
No.
Yes.
Why they ask me a question? I said no, then you say yes.
No, I'm just helping you. Because you're not providing an honest answer.
No, I am providing my honest answer. Dr. Baka does not believe that. What Dr. Baka believes, and he stated this. He said, whatsoever happened on his leadership, let me finish. Whatsoever happened on the leadership of Kumi should take full responsibility because he was in charge at the time.
Is it equivalent to he being the one that did what happens? Is that? And to add to that, Boyka also reiterated what Nyombli Kanga Lawrence said. Boyka is the wise guy, is a wiser guy in the hall, in the buildings. He's the big elephant among the four. Hold on. Do you think he did what he should to have stabilized, even though we carry a relay town hall meeting and promised and told the Liberian people upon arrival in Liberia, he's going to do everything possibly he can to stabilize the situation in that was going on when he gets to Liberia. Do you still taking of a word?
Mr. So let me disabuse you on this notion here. I think I stated this so many times, and let me just repeat myself again tonight. Dr. Baka, and I'll be very honest, in as much as I support him, I thought this was a complete and a good opportunity for him to demonstrate, not just to the Liberian people, but to the international community, that he has the ability to resolve issue of difficulty in whatever faction it might be. He didn't do that. He missed the mark. I say so. Now, the point that because of that, yes, you can blame him in other issues, but as far as Kumi and this whole debacle is concerned, I don't believe he has anything. Even if he did, that doesn't come up to the point of breaking up the hopes and aspiration of so many Liberians. And people are blaming Kumi in Liberia. Mr. So, you were there.
I'm not a witness, please.
Okay. Well, yeah, because it's coming, so you don't want to deal with that. That's fine. But I would say so. This is what I'm going to say before I take leave of you, Mr. So. If I want to take leave of you, because I think this show is a wonderful show tonight, and because it's my show and it's a wonderful show. Now, Mr. So, let me say this here. Kumi has the leadership ability. Kumi could have been one of the best vice presidents, and then becomes the president of the Republic of Liberia. Demonstrate. I said it before a few minutes ago. I said it, and I'm saying it again. If Kumi has been the vice president, or even if Kumi is given the opportunity to lead Liberia, Liberia will be better than Ghana. Liberia will be better than Nigeria because Kumi has the ability to organize. Kumi has the ability to understand the corrupt behavior in that country. However, Kumi do not have the connection. And the voters in Liberia will not look at Kumi and give him the presidency. They're not going to do that because they have not seen his ability to lead. We know, I know, but I'm not a voting member of Liberia.
All right. Okay, well, guys, let me get a quick tip here before we go because I'm not hearing any of the people, be it a Kumi, the Boyka, the longest serving government official, they're not talking anything. You travel on this road here. Let's see here.
Look at this. This whole road is not accessible.
Let me get an expertise. You want this is the road. The southeastern side of Liberia. Look at this road here. The Kumis, the Boyka, they're not saying anything. The president, the CDC, they're making some sort of concession. Are you there? Are you hearing me?
But then you're not being sincere either.
No, I'm saying there are some other roads, there are things they are talking. But what I'm saying here, the nuclear argument here, these are people that are talking under the one state power. And we are not hearing anything about their infrastructural plan. Boyka came with road. I don't know what sort of
Mr. So, Mr. So,
please.
Go ahead, finish your statement.
You are just crying baby cry here that we can't give you a chance. Now, you Black Dragon trying to prevent the death of Bruce Lee. Now, I am not hearing that much. Then telling the Liberian people their infrastructural development. Look at this. Look at this road.
This side is no longer accessible. So this is the side the drivers are using right now. It's not easy.
Okay, let me just get your expertise as an engineer. When you look at this one here, and look at our leader, what comes to mind? Where is the visions? Where is the interest they have for our country?
Mr. So, could you please take that and put our picture or put my picture up there so they can see us, please?
Okay.
Thank you. Look, from an engineering perspective, I think I told you the other day, it's bad. Dr. Weir is doing the best he can to make sure this thing's taken care of. He has people designing already. The design of that particular area is already done, except the construction process will not be completed until he's done in out 6 years, done, or even in the next 6 years. Not going to be done. It's not going to reach that better village. Now, Dr. Baka, on the other hand, has said, and I will paraphrase now, roads, 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 roads. Those are the things that he keeps saying, and those are the things that he wants to do. Now, Mr. So, it is very sad when you show these kinds of stuff that you will try to go to someone who has not even taken office yet, whereas you have your own Grand Jida government officials sitting there. That's a Pella Village area, sitting there for, once again, come rainy season, our people will go nowhere. And if you're going to be talking about these kinds of roads, if you're going to show them, then please, let's go locally, not the national perspective. Let's go locally, because the local officials are the one that's supposed to be in charge of these things. Each county in Liberia has a representative from public work, has their own county engineer from public work. And you're going to sit there as a county engineer with all of the equipment that Grand Jida has, and cannot and will not try to fix these roads. These are not something that you can just do, say that so difficult. I show you, if you go to River G, or not River G, if you go to a town outside of Zwedru, the company, the locking company, that do not even have, I'm not too sure if they have engineers, but they were able to stabilize the area that they take their log through Sano County. Why is it that the county officials in Granjide are unable to fix these things. So I'm just saying, if you're going to show these things, let us don't come these roads, even though these are national road, highway, national highway, and what have you, but let us deal with it from a local perspective. And I think
okay, gentlemen, time has caught up with us. Let's do our
the Nairobi has not spoken, Mr. Soul.
When you start being friends with him,
Nairobi has not spoken, Mr. Soul.
I think he wants to translate in Nairobi while going to Liberia.
don't even go there. So don't go there to even picking up because he's not here.
So, but you see, Mr. So you said whether the president is relating to Manasseh Leaf. Yes, it's true. In recent times, there was a center that was dedicated as the John F. Kennedy Hospital, and that center was named after Manasseh Leaf. Even currently, as we speak, the ministerial complex has been named after Manasseh Leaf as well. So you understand some level of coordination and respect for the former president is there. Now, you are talking about Bwaka and the other people. When I was in Liberia, even during the trend from 2005, 2011, 17 elections, all those elections, but mainly 2011 elections, one or two political parties that I saw that have manifesto that we read with clarity and distinction. The Labour Party had a welfare strategy. And then the MPC, which is being led by Simon Freeman, he had a wealth creation strategy where he told the Liberian people when he gets into power, he will make sure that he will divide Liberia into 3 regions. That is, each of those regions will have a national farm to produce what the people eat. Under the welfare strategy, the Labour Party said that people who are old, who cannot afford, they will be given stuff, they will be taken care of, and other issues. So whenever a party wins on such a program and they are not doing what they told you, you have a guts to criticize them. But it's issue. Look at our roads in Liberia. Under no condition that Ambassador Bwaka is telling you, roll. How is he going to build a road? How are you going to get the money? How are you going to get the money? Because, mind you, your budget.
Maybe they will go to studio too.
No, your national budget, Mr. To is an engineer. The national budget that we have cannot sponsor our road in Liberia. Cannot sponsor our road in Liberia. Let us leave from our closet. If the Liberian government wants to borrow, the Liberian government should borrow for a genuine reason. In Nairobi, they are building an expressway. This expressway is being constructed by the Chinese. Now they've signed an agreement that after that, the Chinese will control these toll gates and what have you for certain years. After the Chinese have gotten their money, then they turn these toll gates over to the government of Kenya. They sent in Senegal. I lived in Senegal for some time. The biggest hotel in Senegal is called King Fahd Palace. King Fahd Palace was built by a king from one of these Arab countries. You understand? Now the agreement was, we build this palace or this hotel, we will manage the hotel for certain years, but we will employ your people. The structure is in your country. You provide the land, we build the structure. And that has been done. But all along, since I've been a little boy, Sino Road has been that same way. Sino Roads, very bad. It's a death trap. So you see, so all of them will come out and say they want to become president. Even the Kumi will tell you, oh, our economy is bad. How are you going to fix this economy? When I become president, I will fix the economy in this. What are your strategy? What will you do? Where will you get money from? Who are your partners? Who are you going to work along with?
They can't tell us anything.
They cannot tell us. They don't tell us anything.
Not to mention, the liberal, they said it squandered their 12 years and then they
Yeah.
want to come back to squander another 12 years again.
It's something that is difficult. It's very difficult. On a very serious note, I live in this country. The country has 47 counties. All of the 47 counties are connected to the capital called Nairobi. There is no way wherein you'll be traveling and then you see those kind of ditch or pop holes, those kind of roads you have in Liberia. You don't find these kind of roads here. When you say these things, people feel that you hate your country. You don't hate your country. It is the love of your country. That's why you are saying these things. You want to see the best.
Okay, let me break in, Mr. George. They don't have no agenda. They criticize,
Nothing.
no alternative, no plan, no strategy. They just specialize in cussing and throwing spot of red meat, and they don't say anything. And you have Samson told, they all sit on this network and they try to preach it and say there, Dr. Boyka, Dr. Boyka, Dr. Boyka. They sat down with Helen Johnson Sirleaf.
We
don't know what was his role. Yeah.
Before Mr. George, Mr. So, Ambassador Boyka, where he lives, the resident of Ambassador Boyka, that role was very deplorable when he was vice president. Look, the people say, if your Christmas will be good, you tear from the east. Where he was living, it was this current president was the one that built that road. So how can somebody tell us that you were vice president? Yeah. So, Mr. You are engineer. I don't know what you people are doing now.
Mr. George, make a statement, and then we can go.
Yeah. Look,
for the
let me say this.
It's all set. Liberal is all set.
This road problem, we know it has been an old age problem, and every government can try to make truth like embassy, but it doesn't work the way it's supposed to be. You see that Lofa County Highway, so the fund for that road was secure during Ellen Johnson time. The funds for that road.
Mr. Boyka, vice president?
Yeah, that was during Jacob Boyka. Ellen Johnson secured the fund for that road. But what has been the problem here is the Liberian government to raise their side of their portion to fund those projects. The Liberian government to fund that project is what the WIA government is fighting with. Those funds was secured during the early time, but the government need to make certain contribution towards those funds, and that is the government, is not forthcoming with the money. These are some of the priorities. The Boyka sat down there, the government, in fact, look at the whole thing here. The ambassador got, I don't know, 2, 3 different tunes. One point that he was okay, then what he would say, 75% of the decision made, it was him. So you don't know where he stands on this issue.
Maybe the car was big.
He cannot articulate this issue because he was not involved with it. He cannot articulate and where to say this is what we did and this is what we did. No. This idea that the former vice president has this experience, he has this contact. Okay. What is the policy?
Hillary Clinton with Barack Obama, yeah? Experience?
Yeah. What is it?
You sit down, you go to bed. So they
yes. What is this policy?
Please.
Joseph Boyka, 43 years in government, 2-term vice president. What is your policy agenda to the Liberian people that tomorrow, when I become president, this is how I want to do. This is how I'm going to do, and this is where the money will come from. It's not talk. Tell the people how you're going to fund this program. Where is the money going to come from? How long is it going to take? None of that explained to people. This was the same thing this current government did. George Manuel Weah, President of the Republic of Liberia, they never presented any blueprint to the Liberian people to tell them when we become president, this is the first thing we want to do. The second one, this is how we want to do it.
Kumi got blueprint. That Kumi got blueprint.
Hold on now, old man. You see now, why you interrupt?
No, he interrupted now.
Hold on, you are talking. I interrupt you, so don't worry. This current government did not present any platform, no blueprint. The vision plan to say, hey, take this country over. This is how we're going to build this. This is how I'm going to do this thing. Nothing. It was all about popularity. Oh, yeah. The man is popular. Everybody know him. Oh, the man got contact.
Look.
Today, the government is barely fighting to undertake this project. The problem here is that because Mr. So, it's something that you want to do something, you don't plan. Now, when you get to that place, it's late because you didn't make no preparation. You have been fighting here and there to put pieces together to make what you think will work. And it becomes difficult. Secondly, this government is suffering from credibility problem. Credibility problem, trust. They don't have the people out there to put forward, even the agenda now they say they have, they don't have people to put up to sell to the international community. The people don't trust them. So it becomes a problem. All these things they're trying to tackle. So, Mr. Cummings, I have not seen the ANC policy layout from them to say, hey,
look,
this is what we want to do. This is how we want to do it. This is where the money will come from. I have not seen that.
All right.
Yes, they're all talking them up, but it's not on paper. If it's not on paper, how can we hold these people responsible?
Nothing. There are people going to be in defense of that. The opposition, this and that, they are a disgrace to the country. They are dishonest. They are corrupt. They do not like their country. The bickering, the bitterness, and you'll be surprised. In as much the economy, things are tough in Liberia. I'm there. But the behavior of these people, most likely, and we see why it's gradually playing out. We see the work of the pumpkin pan already. You know the pumpkin pan, right? Most likely, we'll be in a shock. Most likely, seeing what is unfolding in the political landscape in Liberia. You'll be shocked. CDC might have a second term because of the behavior of these people. Joseph Boyka, Ellis Kumi, Benena Ure, the most troublesome child who does not have a political institution, just few family people put together and decided to protect his wealth. And if he's not even paying his bills fair share to the government, when the government goes after him, then it will be like a political witch hunt. If these people can't put up their pants and they want to continue to wear diaper, believe me or not, that's the end of it. Joseph,
and
vice
I will just butcher your statement.
You even have a conversation with your West African neighbors and go there. And they think just sitting down there, go on Spoon, count LPR, go to what they call OKFM, no OKFM, and just talk and go to bed. And they think that we're going to solve my brain problem. No agenda, no plan. And regrettably, their supporters dived into this sort of entertainment and forgetting to know that Liberia, at this time, they need to wake up, get their butt up, be going to China, be meeting foreign diplomats to tell their agenda they're waiting for is when they become president before they can get friends. Now, these people must take serious. People,
one thing, while you're going on,
we are off the show time.
Yeah, I know you're off the show, but let me just say here very quickly. All three of you have no voting right, so you can be raised.
It doesn't matter. All you want to say,
you can say all you want to say about Dr. Baka. Your opinion will not affect. Your opinion is not going to affect anything because you cannot vote in Liberia. And those who are voting in Liberia, you will vote for Dr. Baka. That's simple as that.
How you know
our opinion is matter to the Liberian people because they listen to us.
How you know that?
But that doesn't mean that because your opinion matters, you're not going to sway the vote. Dr. Baka is going to be the next president of the Republic. I don't care what you guys say, what you guys do. You're going to have the vote. You can't vote.
You can't manage Unity Party. You can't even manage Unity Party.
I'm not even Unity Party, but I'm saying Dr. Baka, you guys missed the vote. Cummings decided to play hardball, and now he's struggling. And hopefully you will come begging back to Dr. Baca, and then we will accept you. And then the Cummings can go second, and then we will redeem the Liberian people. Mr. So, you and this far center right, you guys can say all you want to say, but Dr. Baca is the next president of the Republic of Liberia.
Okay, guys, I want to thank you so much for your time, and to our many viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will be back here, same time, same station. And hopefully more revelation going to come out. But I think the Pumpkin Pound has played his political game. And right now, folks within the White Car corridor and even the opposition bloc, they are worried.
Yeah.
Because his interest. And I don't blame him. Everywhere is political interest. He said, hey, since you don't want to grow like an adult, you will teach you a lesson and then you will come back here tomorrow. You who raised the alligator eventually goes into the belly of the alligator. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much and our viewers for your time, your patience, and we'll continue to discuss these issues. And at the end of the day, we want Liberia to be victor. We want the victory to come to Liberia, not these individuals, because they are unable to manage, to maintain all of their lack of credibility, and they try to front on people. They're not building institutions. It's all about themselves. They pay themselves huge money. Samson told should be ashamed of himself to come here to defend young Kanga Lauren, people who heavily financially reward themselves. And yet,
I tell you, the show was over.
Of the government. That's a disgrace. Have a pleasant evening.
There we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Is he shocked? Pato, is he shocked?
All right, guys, have a pleasant evening, and to our many viewers and listeners, and by God's will, we'll be right back. Mr. Smith, Victor, look, Mr. Smith, if I have my own way, we put Liberia on a trusteeship, or we just give it to Jeff Bezos for now, Amazon, and put Liberia on a trusteeship. It doesn't matter. The very opposition that we have, if they take power, believe me, it will be terrible. It will be horrible. It will be you would find it very difficult. People who fighting, who not even go to Capitol building or executive mansion, they're fighting among themselves like this, with a lot of pedophiles and all of those people that then we're going to trust at Ministry of Gender. And then when they do this thing, there are people coming in defense of them, give justifications of their action. Can they maintain the state of the security? I doubt it. And the liberal agree with me. Bye-bye. Okay, folks, that does it this evening. I'm Alfonso Z, and so thank you so much for your time and your contributions, your tweets, your comments. Always, whatever said on this network does not in any way is the view or opinions of the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio. But we do facilitate these high-call conversations. But we do give you the privilege, the opportunity to express your view and your opinion. Thank you so much. And by God's willing, same time, same station, we want to be right back here. May victory come to Liberia at the end of the day. Bye-bye. All right, they stay here, and folks, we will be back here tomorrow.
From the West African nation of Côte d'Ivoire, Liberia Public Radio and Television present Business Diary. This program focuses on the activities of business institutions and individuals in society.